Hey guys, Dave and Wemi here with Moments of Love, and we're digging into the details here and a little behind the scenes. It's the big bad wedding budget. You know, it's not an easy topic when we talk about money, and when obviously if you're planning your own wedding or have already done this, or even other aspects of life, you know, the budget, the money talks, they get real. They get heated.
Yeah. It definitely it starts off a little bit easy, and then it gets harder, and just, this is impossible.
It's funny because it's like, you know, without having to worry about money, like it's so easy. It's it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Like
if you have no like financial limits or anything to worry about, like it never gets hard. Well, I'm sure it does because I feel like the more money you have at your disposal, the more you want to do, and then you start to realize the more you want to do, those things cost money, and at some point you're probably just like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, but keeping it tight is just adds that extra little stress, I guess. So we wanted to share our experiences. Yep. We wanted to share that for one. We wanted to also, you know, kind of give some insight, give some feedback, and just some positive tips and stuff. I mean, it's like, I guess it's like what, 8 o'clock in the morning.
I think it's like 4 p.m. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know why Wendy's on it, but that's all right. So we want to start with kind of going over, one, the encouragement of doing a budget. Like absolutely, if you're planning a wedding, planning a big party, something like that, lots of life events, budgets are good.
I feel like with a budget, there are two steps that are kind of like interchangeable depending on how much time you have on your hands.
Okay.
And I think the one step is maybe doing some research on just how much things generally cost.
Yeah.
And then creating a budget based on knowing what things generally cost. Like don't look into the specifics of things, but just like, you know, general ideas. But if you don't have time on your hands to do that, then create a budget of your wish, is what I'd call it. Create a wish list budget. And then I'd say create like a realistic column.
Okay.
Yeah, like wishes, you know what, if for some reason we end up winning the jackpot before our wedding, here's how much, this is our budget of what we want to do. But based on how much we have in our account today, or that we will have in our account, you know, in 2 months, here's what we can potentially afford.
So that's the dreamer talking.
Yeah.
But
that's the girl side.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's still good because it is good to know what you want to do, even if you can't.
Yeah,
sometimes.
You still don't, like because you might think what you want to do is super expensive, and then you realize, oh, it's not that bad, and it's actually possible. So that's my thought.
Yeah, no, I think that's great, and even from the other side of things, like from my side, I'm more like the realistic kind of
logical.
Man, am I really boring you?
I don't know. I'm boring myself.
So from the other side of things, it's nice to know that, you know, if things get tight and you're like, you know, in my dream wedding, I really wanted this, but I understand. You understand that, you know, we have to make sacrifices. We can't get that. Then I see that. Yeah. And that makes me feel better because it's like, okay, well, I don't want to just be like, you know, cracking the whip or anything. Yeah. And so it's good to, you know, just
I think it's
both members need to be involved, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about anyway was just about the categories, kind of the high level stuff to help you guys out with that. You know, can
I just interject for a second? As we're talking, if you guys want, you can click on the link below of like our budget template that we've put there, and you can kind of follow along with the things we're talking about if you're interested. Go on.
So these are just high level categories of things that happen at most weddings, I guess. Yep. We'll say that. So they're just things like the reception, the food, the drinks.
Go in order.
I was going in our order. I'm doing it based on ours.
Okay.
The photographers, the rings, the rehearsal dinner, the flowers, the dress, the videographers, the music, the clothes, the beauty, the stationery, the decor, the ceremony, the cake, the transportation, the miscellaneous, the gifts, and the honeymoon.
It adds up.
So yeah, that's like those are what we consider
major categories,
high-level categories.
And then you got to break each one of those down into like the little details, and it's crazy.
It's crazy. So we toss those in the spreadsheet, and there's a lot of resources out there. When we hold up your big wedding book, so this which book is this? This is the Big Wedding Day or something? Nope. Wedding Planner and Organizer, that one.
This is the binder one that I showed you guys in our invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched that video and you do want to get this book, it's really, really good. It's the Wedding Plan and Organizer by Mindy
Weiss.
Because I said Weiss last time. Dave was like, no, it's not that.
Weiss.
So, whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
Mindy.
Yeah.
Google her. She's on Amazon. I'm going the wrong way.
Okay, great. We're not talking about the book. I just wanted to show that we have resources like this.
Yep.
We have a whole bunch of other books, online stuff, and basically combine them all kind of thing and put together the percentages that are in those templates. So if you download those, they're just an Excel file.
So that's based on a lot of research. That wasn't based on just like what we felt.
Right.
That's based on research from books and yeah.
Yeah, and so basically what that allows you to do is just put a big old number, like just the whole wedding budget, just up in the top left, and that'll fill out approximate values of what the other things should cost based on your total wedding budget. So.
And a key thing with that spreadsheet is Dave has been also kind to kind of put in some formulas in the spreadsheet. So try not to mess around too much with the actual formulas if you're not good at it. If you're good at it, then mess it up.
And if you're bad and you mess it up, just download it again. No
That's true. Download it again. Yeah, but it's great because, as he said, you fill in the number at the top. He's talking all technical, so I'm just trying to break it down for you guys.
I said fill in the number at the top.
So fill in the big number, and it automatically calculates how that breaks down into percentages. You weren't saying that. You'd be like, oh, it'll just fill out and it'll just show up.
Yeah, because they'll see that when they're there. Don't worry.
It'll calculate the percentages out for you and let you know how much you should be spending on certain things based on your budget. Now, you don't have to do that.
No.
Do whatever you want to do. If you feel like spending a lot more on, I don't know, your limo than your actual ceremony, hey, go nuts.
Yeah, change those numbers. That's fine with us. Yeah. Idea is getting the budget there.
Yep.
And so basically, what then we did, so we went through based on those numbers. We took our numbers, our high level number, it got the percentages, and then we kind of looked at what was realistic based on our knowledge. So we had been going around looking at venues to start with. Obviously, that's a big first step. And basically we'd see, one venue and they'd charge
they'd be like $3,000.
Yeah.
Another venue's like $12,000.
And then another one would be, $100 per person or whatever. So, they all charge differently and they all provide different things. And so that obviously, like some venues, the food, the drink, and the reception kind of all are in one category.
We'll give you guys more details in our venue video. We'll definitely get into that a little bit more, but yeah, but just be aware.
Just based on that allowed us to kind of see where we fit in terms of our estimates, and that's what we did. We went down, we broke it down based on what we thought we wanted. I know, wemi had some desires of your own that you wanted, obviously made sure squeaked into the budget. Some places we had to cut, some places we didn't, and it was, but we worked it all out in terms of our estimates. I guess that's where we started.
Yes.
Excuse me. So then after that was when we actually started, nailing down some details, I guess. We started, confirming with vendors, confirming with the locations, confirming buying supplies, buying stuff. And so that's where, if you guys are in the Excel template, jump to the second sheet, and that's the details. And basically, as we went down, we just filled in those rows. We added the category, a description of what it was, and a cost of how much we've already spent or how much it will cost.
Yep.
Because those are now realistic values, and then it pops them into the first sheet.
Yeah.
Just for you. It's great.
Yeah.
And so we did that. We went through, and man, the numbers got out of hand. And so this is, I think, phase 2, I guess, of budget. There's going to come a time where you're going to blow over the budget, I'm sure.
Very easily.
No, and that's, to be honest, that's not everybody.
No.
We happen to go over in some categories, and in some categories we didn't.
Yep.
But I think it's all about communication. Like, for example, we went under budget in our ring costs, which is good. But that allowed us to spend somewhere else. And so we made the choice to allow Wemi to get another dress. But no, it was good. And we were always on the same page in that most of the time. We were on the same page to understand where money is going after making that initial kind of estimation, because that's not going to hold all the way through.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Correct. So yeah, like as Dave said, there were a lot of things that we're able to save money on and we're under budget, and that's in things like, I don't know, deciding to use like disposable dishes on the traditional night versus using like rentals the first night and the second night. And you know what? This is something I'm going to give you guys as a budget thing, but it's really just a money saving tip. If you are interested in using disposable dishes, there are like plastic disposable dishes that look more real and professional, and they're not like, you know, the styrofoam breaking ones. They do have those. Costco is really good for them. That's where we got ours from. And they have like disposable cutlery that's also like, it looks metal. So it's not, again, not the white plastic cheap looking thing. It looks a little bit more. It costs obviously a little bit more than the styrofoam stuff, but if you're okay with that, it's a great substitute.
It's a lot less than obviously renting
real dishes and whatever. So it depends on what look you want. But for our traditional night, we did use like the plastic dishes that, you know, looked real. No one really it wasn't a really big, elegant sit down dinner, so it didn't matter. But the second night we did have rentals, so we did have like real plates and knives and cups and stuff. And then what we did was for the second night at 10 p.m., around 10 p.m. or something like that. Once the dance started, we stopped using real stuff. Glasses, real glasses, real cutlery. We switched over to disposable things. Because by then, everyone's dancing, everyone's having a good time. No one's really like, oh my gosh, they gave me a paper cup. Like, this is ridiculous. No one cares at that point. They're just taking shots and keeping it moving, or, you know, drinking a wine, like whatever. So just keep that in mind.
And for us, like the reason we had to do all that, so this is obviously very dependent on the venue. A lot of venues have obviously the cutlery and plates and all that within, but ours, it was just the type where we supplied all of that. And so we got to make those decisions. Basically, as Wendy said,
we were able to.
When we wanted to switch over to the plastic cups, for example.
So that is, I guess, something else to be aware of when you're looking for your venue. Again, we'll cover all this later in more details, but just what they allow you to do and how much it'll cost you later. Because something like rentals, like renting plates and cutlery and stuff, that adds up, guys, real quick. Like once they're charging per person and all of that, it adds up really quickly, and you don't realize that each person needs a plate, a fork, a knife, a glass, a wine glass. It's crazy. So keep that in mind.
So I think, do you want to go through our top level categories and kind of advice, and then where we went over and under, and we'll do that. We'll run through the categories and basically tell you guys how we did relative to our budget. Basically, so the first one is reception, and we'll try to figure out if there's any details that we would kind of want to share about that. So the reception, as we had already said, you know, that was one where we got to decide whether to bring in our own plates, what types of plates to use.
We had full autonomy on our reception.
Exactly. It wasn't whether or not to bring in plates. We kind of needed plates.
But we could choose if we wanted rentals, paper plates, like it was whatever you want, do it.
Now, in that whatever you want, do it, there was also things that kind of got hidden and we missed. And that was something like the staff. You kind of
got to serve the people.
You got to pay for people, and so we missed.
We didn't realize
couple of details. So when we had to do all the details ourselves, in regards to the reception, we kind of missed on some, and so we kind of went over budget by about 25-30%.
That one was, and I think it is significant because, as we just said, paying for staff is like you're paying 12 people per hour. That. Even if you're paying them $5 an hour, like that adds up real quick. And we're not paying them $5 an hour. So once you have staff that you're paying for and you're paying them an hourly rate, that adds up really quickly. And we just didn't think about, oh, we got to pay someone to serve people.
And also just from, if you look at the spreadsheet, like the reception piece is the biggest piece of the pie. And to go over budget by that much, I'm looking at it again, it's probably more like 40%. And like that, that was a significant amount. But as we continue on, we'll see how else we did. So the food. I think the food was actually pretty good. We basically found a caterer. The trouble with food is a lot of them, like, they don't really let you try it quite how you want to.
More importantly, a lot of places in the movies and on TV, they make you think, oh, you go food tasting and you try all these different places for free. No, you don't.
Not a chance.
No, you don't.
Just sign up before you get to taste it.
Pay before you try these foods. So unless you're just balling out of control, you're not about to go to 10 different places and pay $100 to try 3 little things. That seems kind of silly. So just keep that in mind, that a lot of places you do have to either sign up with them first, before they let you try the food, or
you have to pay it. Like
you have to pay like $100 or something to try the food, and so just a.
So on that note, though, we were under budget just a little bit, but yeah, it was perfect. It was good. So we did well there. Then the drinks, and again, so we actually had to bring in our own pop and alcohol, or just
water, everything. We brought our own drinks.
Yeah, and so that one was stressful on this guy because.
And you guys remember Dave asking you for help on that?
Yeah, because I took that upon myself. I just wanted to take something off Wemi's plate, kind of thing, and just I got this. And but we re-estimated again, and in the end we bought way more than we needed.
Yeah.
And
but it's better to have more than less.
Yeah, which was good. And in Ontario anyway, when you buy booze for a wedding, you can return the unopened stuff. So overall, we were over. What was our estimate? Ooh, yeah. So we were over budget by about 20% there.
But then we returned it. So
no.
Oh, that was after the returns?
Initially before the wedding, we were over budget by 100%. And then
because Dave was just like, I don't know how much liquor costs. Throw this number in there.
We went all out. Well, no, I knew how much it cost.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much people drink. Yeah. So in terms of the estimates, they were great. They were if that was how much people would drink, but it's how much people would drink was the hard one. So that's
and another thing about drinks is just be aware that like people drink different things, and it's hard to cater to that. But again, we had autonomy on choosing that, and I personally think it's cheaper than getting the venue to provide the drinks, because once they're providing alcohol for you, they charge ridiculous amounts. It's just like, that's silly. Liquor does not cost that much. If they're just providing pop, it might be a lot cheaper. But again, that's on you if you're having a dry event or a wet event, and also on you in deciding if you're doing a cash bar or open bar. I've heard a lot of people who say they won't attend a wedding that's cash bar. Some people don't care. Like, it's
stuck up.
Just just be aware of the kind of people that you keep in your circle who are coming to your wedding.
Yeah, for us, like it was, to be honest, I think it was a huge saver for us.
Oh, definitely.
Like most of the venues around would be like $15 or $20 a person.
Yeah. And they don't care whether the person actually drinks or not.
Right.
That's just what they're charging.
Right, and $20 a person at 200 plus people is $4,000, and so that's not cool. So we didn't come close to spending that. So that's where.
And for Americans, liquor is a lot cheaper than it is here. So just like.
So maybe that's not $20 a person, and
No, but I'm saying even if you go by yourself, like you'd spend a lot less than what we did because liquor is so much cheaper in the States.
Yeah.